Congressman Lloyd Doggett. And Congressman, I appreciate your time. You and I have talked about this over the past couple of months, and here we are. You've spent hours behind closed doors. You've just come out from the vote. Can you first explain to me exactly what you all are voting to do? Are we going to see a summary of some sort, or are we going to see all of the tax returns?
Both, but for a limited period. Yes, Aaron, we've been at it for about the last 3.5 hours, discussing all aspects of this. Now there will be a report to the House prepared by Chairman Neal and his staff, a very thorough report. It includes a number of attachments. It includes additional analysis from the Joint Tax Committee, and it will also include some Trump tax returns.
And is that's going? We're going to get sort of one thing: an executive summary, attachments, and some of the tax returns. That's going to be it. We're not also going to get all the tax returns, just to be very clear here.
You will get all of the tax returns that the Supreme Court and the lower courts said that Mr. Neal's request could get. You will get all of those. That may be delayed for a few days only to permit time to redact things like Social Security numbers, personal ID numbers, that type of thing. But you will get the complete Trump tax returns, such as they are, for the years that Mr. Neal requested.
Okay, so that's 2015 through 2020, just to be clear, yeah?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I think what I find surprising, our focus had been on the IRS audit and whether it was being done properly, is the IRS did no audits at all until such time as the day they received Mr. Neal's request for these documents, and that day they requested the first audit. They have yet to complete a single audit of Mr. Trump, and I think they'll also be surprised by what's not there with the tax returns, and that is supporting data. Any taxpayer who goes in for audit has to produce some receipts and some affidavits and some substantiation, and that just seems to be missing from what we've been provided.
So in that context, just to be clear, is your understanding, you're saying that they didn't begin the audit until the request came in, then they began
the same day.
Okay, yeah. The same day. It sounds like what you're saying, I don't want to jump to a conclusion, so I want to make sure I'm right, that they then requested, they had questions about various things and then reached out to Trump to ask those questions, and that Trump did not respond with the backup data to make his case for why he did what he did?
I think you will see tens of millions of dollars in these returns that were claimed without adequate substantiation. The extent to which the IRS made an effort to get that substantiation, I invite you to look at the reports. But I think you'll be surprised by how little there is, and I have my doubts that another taxpayer could go in to audit and provide as little as was provided here and expect to have a completed audit.
Okay, and those tens of millions of dollars were what that he was claiming?
Well, we know that from the earlier disclosures from the New York Times that he often claimed huge amounts of lost carryovers. And even one time, much before these returns, got a check for over $70 million. In this case, in 2015, he began with about $105 million lost carryover. There are all those issues in it were not explored in the documents we have because we were limited to a very narrow period of time, those 6 years. Further, there was no conversation between our staff and any of the IRS auditors or employees to determine what exactly happened or didn't happen. We only have a few scattered notes in order to put the puzzle together.
So, okay, so you're saying 2015, $105 million loss, that he claimed that, as you're saying, without substantiation.
That was a carryover. That was a carryover, okay. And because we did not have the capacity to look at the prior years, we cannot determine the origin of that carryover.
Did you did you see, Congressman, I'm sorry, I overtalked you for a second, but did you see any evidence of him being compromised in the way that you were ultimately concerned about, right? That what you would see in his tax picture would show that his actions as president were perhaps compromised. Did you see any evidence of that or anything that raised questions for you in that regard?
No, and just with these particular documents by themselves, I didn't really expect to find very much. There is evidence of some of the foreign taxes that he paid, But these are just like an ordinary, very wealthy business person's filing that show what he got and what he claimed as deductions. It just, and immense loss carryovers. It just does not give us the detail necessary to make that determination.
All right, well, Congressman Doggett, I appreciate your time, and obviously we all look forward to seeing, as we now understand, what will be an executive summary with attachments as well as the full body of taxes that you did receive from the years you requested, 2015 through 2020. Congressman Doggett, thank you, sir.
Thank you.